Esports, a big compositional shift coming in from the Impunity squad at the very least. Level 1, 5-man stack into this bottom bush. Does Impunity fall for it? That's the real question, and it looks like they are going elsewhere.
Okay, well, they were for now. I mean, Impunity, yeah, still walking in. Handshake was way too close. Houston still wants to go in.
YSKM.
But, yeah, YSKM is going to start with a hook shot, wall shot. Annex cleanses away,
perfect.
exhaust down. Double summoners for the cost of 1 on carries. That is a rough start.
Oh my lord, what a hook shot coming in from YSKM. Gets onto and pushes Annex closer to Frank Esports. That was a huge knockback. And now Annex on the Kalista, who has to be more early game focused, right? Losing both your summoners. He's got to be very, very careful on when he wants to take those early game trades.
I mean, especially since, you know, we expect the 2v2 to be strength of the Kalista Mumu here, but Aphelios Renata we've seen is quite good as Jackpot actually going to get here in with the trade.
Zoned off.
It's just auto attack after auto attack, but at least now having the range, there should be a trade back depending on if YSKM goes for another hookshot, wall shot. Meanwhile, on the 2v2, we're just brutalizing it out as Eminem is using his range, and Impunity in 2 different lanes right now are getting hit pretty hard.
This is what makes Frank Esports so exciting to watch, is that they will just try and win out on multiple sides of the map with really no reason. As YSKM looks like he wants to go for it all in.
Yeah, gets a double Q off, but the trade back from Jackpot's using the range. Hookshot, walkshot's not available as onto Jackpot. Now it seems like he's getting the better of it as Holo's coming to the bot side. Frank Esports with early aggression yet again. What's new is Holo now doing some invading of his own.
Yeah, Holo playing super aggressive here. This is what we wanted to see coming in from Alex. I mean, as an adaptation, because that's the stuff that Impunity need. Get a little bit more early game heavy. And Holo, he's the one dictating the pace. Still, even put onto this Wukong jungle.
Yeah, still, I was going to say, look, even though Alex was spotted out, Holo wasn't able to do anything, able to threaten away. Impunity have had pretty good tracking with the ward on the red buff earlier, but now another one on Raptors. And you look at the lanes, despite the summoner difference from Annex bot side, still being able to keep up right now, still being able to survive the early lane as we saw there before from Frank. And top side too is doing a little bit better with YSKM versus Jackpot still happening, but the hookshot, wall shot. Hang on a minute, Jackpot hasn't flashed away. YSKM getting stunned up. The minions are hitting him, though. The range still good as YSKM fighting for his life. Holds onto his flash, but so does Jackpot as both top laners walk away without a shred of health.
Yeah, should most likely be that recall coming in from YSKM that resets the situation, has the teleporter return back into the lane. And with the wave where it is, definitely threatens a gank coming in from Holo. And you can see here, he is hovering that top side of the map. That is going to force Jackpot away from this wave as we do get the teleport coming back, or he risks dying.
And the ward spotting out the gank pathing here from Holo. Good ward placed by Jackpot in the nick of time too. So double TP for top laners, as you said. Well, we look towards mid. Pretender might be caught out here. It's a good sweeping blade, but unfortunately, Husky's not able to connect. While Alex is setting up the bot lane dive, and Eminem and Kyrie's could be in a bit of trouble, but Handshake's still available. We look at the 3 versus 2. Flash immediately there, but Eminem has the bailout. Impunity going dive deep as Alex with the gravitum on top. The bailout good. Kyrie trying to get his reset, but it won't work out. Annex going for the trade, the flash burn. It is a trade that will end up better. As now for Frank Esports committing to the top side, Jackpot in a lot of trouble. He's got his flash available, but there's no point burning it. Holo secures the kill, making it a 2-for-1 across the map for Frank.
And this is the issue with the side of Impunity. Because Frank Esports are playing so aggressively on both halves of the map. Yes, they set up a dive, but because the dive goes wrong and they trade one back, it leaves you the opening for Frank Esports to make a play topside, and that's exactly what happens. We already knew that Holo was going to be hovering topside anyways. As we get to see a replay of this dive, kind of goes wrong at the start. Yusin's the one to start tanking tower, and he's already at 1 HP. Unfortunately, it does go a little bit awry as Carries is forced to burn the flash after all is said and done. It is still a one for one in that bottom lane, and when you're the Philios, who will eventually outscale the Kalista, you're in a comfortable spot.
But I will say, at the very least, Eminem was denied a wave. Alex had that wave push in, picks up the kill, and was able to stay in lane. So it feels like right now there's going to be a small EXP lead here for this Kalista. While Alex is pathing down yet again, but some good warding from Frank Esports spots out this Vi who wants to make a return path and kind of snowball like Eminem was done to by Hollow last game.
Hollow in the vicinity here as well. Not quite level 6. And not sure how close Alex is to level 6, but he might be up to, with this extra time, hit it before Hollow is on the Wukong.
Trade here from Pretender. Speaking of level 6, that's hit by both mid laners now as well. So the potential of the all-in bristles up as Jackpot and YSKM. YSKM not there yet, but will be shortly. We're kind of looking at player level on the left-hand side. I was talking about before, Annex quite ahead of Eminem as he falls on that thought because this is a big minion wave. Alex trying to threaten the dive, but Husky's not here yet.
Yep.
But YSKM has ulti, so this has got to be successful. Trying to buy time. Hookshot, walkshot. Jackpot takes turret aggro. There's the ulti, splits him back. It's a lot committed as Jackpot almost dies. So messy from Impunity. Alex is lucky to be alive, but hey, if Impunity got it done, I guess that's what counts.
Oh my god. It wasn't pretty, Hysterics. But you know what? They got the kill in the end, and they didn't die for it either. So the result is exactly what the doctor ordered for the side of Impunity, and this is a much, much better start for them into game 2, going with this Vi pick being a complete game changer coming in from Alex. And you can see now that he's not onto the Wukong, he's not worried about farming the level 6 and start team fighting. Nah, it's all about these more shorter skirmishes, dive setups, and especially with the Vi, who has the ability to just target one single target, that's much better.
Yeah, but you know the problem is, Impunity just used triple ulti up top side, and Jackpots was one of them with the flash burn too. Impunity paid for their price. I mean, bot is open. You might be getting Herald here. It depends on if YSCam will go down. As Yusin setting up for the bandage toss, hook shot, wall shot after the fact, and guess what? There is no curse of the sad mummy, so he won't go down. But bottom turret Knight, you're losing so much to everybody else by himself.
And this is perfect weapons to just farm solo plate gold for Eminem. I think he got 3 to himself in that instance. That's almost 500 gold going into his back pocket, even though they throw down the Rift Herald. It's not going to match the amount of gold. And Carries even makes the rotation, so they should be able to hold on to this last plate here.
YSCam doesn't have the ulti. That's what might give him a little bit more confidence. As last plate is there, as you said, still looking for first turret as Alex goes in with the ulti, but the members coming up might help Impunity. There's still no ulti on Amumu. They're trying to get this top laner. Jackpot's ulti doesn't work out. 5 members top side. Impunity may get first turret, but that's plating for Midakali. That's Eminem looking to match.
What?
Impunity are trying to be bloodthirsty this one, but Nightstar, it is costing so much in the process.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that they should look to play aggressively up top side, but I don't know about 5 people. Hysterics. That seems a little bit too much resources to throw into it. As a result, Eminem, he gets 4 plays to himself, even though he doesn't get that turret down. At 10 minutes, it's a little bit early to be able to solo it out by yourself, especially when you're just sitting on a cull. But that's so much extra gold flowing into him. And also Pretender having extra free time in the mid lane. Yes, there's a kill difference in Husky having that extra kill, but it's still extra EXP and minions that you might get contested for that you aren't.
All members sharing up in that top side in the first turret blood, by the way, as Pretender is 20 CS up over Husky. Excuse me, only 10 at the moment, as looks like Husky's caught up somewhat. He was
Still
able to get the
level
kill, which is meaningful, as now he might just be caught out as Holo's going all on in. The fate sealed over the wall means Husky now has no ulti, but Dragon is not up anyway, so Impunity not getting too far caught out. As I wanted to say as well, you look at what Impunity did topside, it didn't help Jackpot. He's at 40 CS at 10 minutes into the game. YSCam is the one who's targeted, as Impunity are going to try and double down on this one again. I don't know. Here comes the Vault Breaker at the very least. A stun up too. YSCam has the ulti. His hookshot, wall shot, going to be followed up. The dunk down beautiful as he ulti flashes over, but with the Vault Breaker, YSCam, not sure the flash is really going to be worth it. Frank Esports at the bottom side in the meanwhile, but it is going to be their turretive response.
Man, both of these top laners are just playing on poverty levels of gold.
Yeah.
Because they are lower CS than their junglers, and it just really shows you how much aggression is being showcased by the side of Impunity as a game changer. And unfortunately,
Houston almost has more gold than YSKM.
Look at these top laners. They are. This is the epitome of top lane. You know, you just get bullied all day long.
Yeah.
You don't get any resources. It's the top lane dream.
God, it's just, you know, YSCam probably getting used to it as the priority for Frank Esports. In the games in the regular season, we talked about the shift to top side in this split and how Frank really loves setting up YSCam on these volatile champions, but so far in both games, bot side has been a bit of a change around. Holo sending himself towards bot and giving Eminem and Kiri's a bit of priority. You can see because of that first turret blood, or rather the trade-off from Eminem, he's now got a Gale Force. Cull not even complete, but he's close to finishing Berserkers, so a huge item discrepancy down there, despite Annex having the one with more CS and a kill lead.
Yeah, and he is also about to cash in onto a cult, so that's pretty much an extra kill right there. Okay. Flank coming in.
Oh, I don't like this at all. I mean, Alex has to go in. There's a one-man ulti. They find the Renata, but everything used for the Renata. A good ulti, but a return from Eminem, who has so many shurikens now. Gale Force difference in action as Eminem steps up to the play. Once again, Impunity used all ultis on singular members, and it's a whip.
And once more, it's using their big cooldowns onto low priority targets, right? In game number 1, it was onto a subjugate Trundle. This time around, it's onto the Renata. Yes, you could say the Renata ultimate is going to have a ton of impact, but not to that degree, right? You had the option to try and kill a Akali, or maybe even the Wukong at this point in the game, right? Where he has that mythic completed, he's going to be doing a ton of damage. And then you burn it all onto the Renata when your AD carry doesn't have his mythic purchased. If you don't kill the Aphelios will just wipe you because of that extra itemization difference.
We're talking, you know, looking at that 3-item Aphelios, really fast approaching at this point. However, at least with Impunity burning everything, despite them losing the Dragon, they were able to get a second kill onto the Callista. Item catch up now as well. And we looked a little bit at these compositions, you know, the snowball and how the bot lane can kind of do what Frank Esports did in game number 1. At the very least, Annex is in a good position. We talked a lot about Impunity Nightstar being this, you know, bot-focused team where Annex wants to be in control. I think you can say that he's in control in this game, and he'll be a force to be reckoned with on this second Herald if contested.
Yeah, they're in a pretty comfortable spot with their items, right? You have the Chainsword completed by Alex, still gold efficient even though it has been dinged a little bit, and then of course you have the strongest member, the Callista, out to a completed mythic, and also have the Blade and Rune King completed. But here's the collapse.
They want to, but they've given an angle here for Houston, who has ultimate available. Double bandage toss is
Lord.
there, but he pulls the trigger so late. Here's the hostile takeover. If it's only onto one, it doesn't matter because it's Jackpot. And that's what they're shouting right now. Husky not able to get over the wall as Holo starts bidding, and Pretender is flying. Impunity, I mean, this is why right now they're starting in the bottom side of the bracket. This series so far hasn't even looked close.
You know, Hysterics, you just have to remember the first 8 minutes of the game. You know, back when Impunity were still making plays with this Vi pick, if they were successful, killing YSCam time and time again.
They used 3 people top, but they all altered. Meanwhile, you lost bot because of Felios got time with the turret.
We just gotta remember the good times.
When they've worked to it enough.
The replay is here, and you can see the Renata ultimate this time did have a use in that fight, as it just really carves out extra space on top of that ultimatum. Really prevents the side of Impunity from trying to follow up to protect that champion getting isolated. And yeah, it was all about Frank Esports in that fight. Impunity, you know, they showed some more signs of life in this game, but I feel like it's back to the drawing board.
Yeah, right. You know, you're right. Like, the signs of life, like the draft changing up a bit's been great, but once again, Frank Esports, it doesn't matter about draft, because it's not the Callisto and Mumu lane. They pulled out the Aphelios Renata, and with all the attention on bot side trying to keep YSKM down, Frank Esports have gotten that Aphelios in such a comfortable position. Yep. The Herald's going to be dropped down in the mid lane now for Impunity, as those ultimates are back up and available, but the handshake sent away. Exposed. It does nothing. Great from carries with the Q, as now Impunity want to pick off the back end, but Frank Esports aren't going to walk into the hands of their supposed predators.
Yeah, and they can go ahead and give this Dragon up if they wanted to, if they weren't super comfortable with the lane position, but possible catch. Houston is able to just walk it off. It's just Eminem trying to exchange his guns. He's now onto red-white. So perfect spot to look to contest this next Dragon. That is coming up in a minute. YSKM put down this entire game, but unfortunately for the side of Impunity, Jackpot did not reap any of those benefits. He didn't get any kills, and he's still suffering in the CS. Now he's pretty much kind of getting outscaled.
And now he's being called out as trying to pick up some of the CS Hextech ultimatum. He's not going anywhere. You know what? YSKM had about 19 solo kills at the end of the season. Let's add another. Fallen behind, it doesn't matter, Nightstar, because YSKM will apparently always flourish.
And look at the item difference, too. Well, Jackpot's still trying to get his mythic item online. He doesn't have the Rocket Belt completed, and if he doesn't get that completed for this fight, that changes the scope completely, because it means that he doesn't have that extra gap closer, and he's going to be solely reliant on his flash to get into the backline.
I mean, we've got double TP, that fight coming now, right? But Pretender's angle scares me, as it is a stolen Scuttlecrab from Alex. But Frank Esports poised to strike as they look for their third Dragon. YSKM doesn't have the ulti available, Jackpot does. That could be a big difference after the solo kill. As time is being bought out, Eminem is such a threat here on the Aphelios. And already Impunity trying to move into position, burn this out. Hollow Pretender right now, the angles. YSKM starts it off, the ultimate from the Renata, good as Husky only gets a one-man. Meanwhile, the stun up is a good ulti from Jackpot, but Eminem is untouched. Impunity are walking into certain danger as the stun up. YSKM prioritizes his pick for a reason. It's a shutdown, but at what cost? Well, 4 bodies and the sunken treasure of Dragon. Even a mid lane turret, it looks like. That Frank Esports will be taken now.
And Frank Esports, they feel like a bit of a one-trick pony, only playing these flank compositions, but when you're so well-versed in playing these flank compositions, what's there to hate? As Impunity, they try and set up, and remember, their composition is in a very similar situation, where they would love to come up with a couple flanks of their own.
Yeah.
But it was Frank Esports controlling the terrain the entire time. There was no one on the side of Impunity looking to get a little bit fancy with their geography, as they're just all funneled in this one area, and they're slowly getting surrounded by all sides.
The Renata ulti getting valued, but you know what we see is Pretender's ulti, probably one of the best we've seen, you know, in this game. But Husky's already tried to ulti Pretender their Nightstar. Some of the big wombos, the AoEs, being used and not in conjunction. As you said at the start of the series, Impunity's biggest problem this split was bringing it all together with their changing roster all the time. We just saw another proof in the pudding there with Impunity's team fight. The ability to look so good, but not being executed in tandem.
Yeah, there's just so much Wombo potential in the kits that they have. Unfortunately, they don't have the items, nor do they have the coordination to capitalize. As Pretender, he might get collapsed upon. It is a 2v1, but it is also Akali.
That is true. Akali has a lot of escapes, and Night Harvested this game too, so a lot of movement speed added into the kit. 2 items, in fact, as Husky still ain't for the Sunfire just yet. It's a very classic Yone build, very classic, DPS fighter build at the moment, especially in 12-14 before it gets nerfed away. Okay, pick up. Is Yusin going to die? Biggest question of the day. Handshake is there, but the rest of the team is there as well. Carries is very deep, actually, but Alex, don't press R. Alex, don't press R. Alex, maybe press Q. Okay, is Alex going to die? Maybe using that hostile takeover. Oh, that was massive. Jackpot's return, ulti is coming. However, the problem is Eminem's free hitting. Eminem has just had the best time this game because they love YSKM. They want to kill him so bad, but Eminem is just freestanding.
This is one of those situations where in your Clash game, you're just so far out of the game that the comms are just, let's just make sure YSKM doesn't have fun. Let's just kill him over and over again. And it's clearly showing in the score line, right? Where YSKM is really the only person dying in this game. Unfortunately, it's not going to change the game script for Impunity because, as you mentioned, Eminem already so fed on this Aphelios. This comp doesn't do well against Aphelios. And if they're not putting pressure on him, he just gets like 3 autos off and they're kind of all dead.
You're getting forced into a 5v5 in front of this Dragon Soul in 2 minutes where, as you said, like there probably will be an Infinity Edge. There's going to be a 3-item Aphelios that now, even though Annex is close to hitting that point too, we haven't seen that beautiful AoE, that pile-up from Impunity that we know is possible, and throw everything out the window because, 0, 6, and 5, Jackpot has not had a great time. YSKM has been more impactful, let's be real.
Yeah.
Even as the Camille, who's been bullied this game, Frank Esports with great setup, and right now it's looking like a beautiful start of the series, as this is going to be the biggest punch for Impunity to make in this game, if they want to stay alive within the realms of it too.
At the very least, Asterix, we have the Mythic completed on the Jackpot, so, he's doing some damage, but I feel like his ultimate's not going to come even close to just that one auto coming in from Eminem with the Calibro.
God, it's just been such a fun game for him, truly, as Frank Esports with his Baron buff, remember, are getting so much value. It's only been a 2k play, but now bottom side turret goes down, jumps up to 2700. You look at mid-wave adding pressure with the Baron minions doing a lot of work, and Frank Esports with how deep they are, with 45 seconds to go, Nightstar, Infernal Dragon, it looks so far off, let alone getting through their own jungle at this point for Impunity.
They're not even going to be able to sniff the bushes around there, even though they are so scorched. Like, there's just so much they have to fight through when it comes to vision control, and now side of Frank Esports to also get this tier 2 mid tower, so you don't have either of your tier 2s in this bottom half of the map, and Hollow on the flank, teleport coming in.
And the TP coming in as well. They know that because the Dragon is going to be a 5v5, but walking in by themselves, the flash away. Hollow's ulti grand as the Fate's Call used. They want Pretender, the hostile takeover, getting the Ken on the backside, but YSKM taking out the jungler. No Infernal for you as he flash ultis onto Jackpot, holds him in place, and that ulti coming out late won't do a thing. Husky trying his damnedest, but they might not even need the soul. Look at them storm the base with the edge of Baron play.
Still have Baron. They're going to be able to push for all they want. And it's just going to be that inhib. They're going to fall back, grab themselves that Infernal Soul on the way out. And this game is pretty much done and dusted. And what looks to be a very similar time frame from game 1.
Funny because I experienced FPX against EDG Next against EDG slaughtering them. And, you know, we've got Alex here, who used to be on the FPX roster way back in the day. And, you know, in the same playoff format, it looks like both Alex and FPX will get destroyed. As we look at Pretender in the top side, he just got Infernal Soul. Can he 1v2? Jumps all in. There's the ulti as Pretender tries to get out, but it is a good rend from Anax, who is still the strongest member of Impunity, to get a shutdown after Soul was the cost.
And these catches are really the only saving grace for the side of Impunity right now, because they do have still solid pick execution with the ultimate coming in from the Vi and also the execute coming in from the Rend. So at the very least, they've got those to hang on to. The only issue is Frankie's were starting in a position where all they have to do is just massively group up in Death Ball. And
Yep.
Impunity, they have no answers to that Death Ball because of how far behind the cannon is. Even if he finds the perfect flank, he doesn't have a stopwatch. He doesn't have the extra penetration items to actually chew through health bars that he might get a stun off. But even then, that seems pretty unlikely.
I mean, what's even more unlikely is being able to get the, you know, the perfect AoE, and as you say, you know, the stun off, because you're against a Renata. Every time Impunity try and go in because of the style of their comp, Ares just presses R, and as they try and go over the wall, that's one simple trade. Wisecap just jumps in. He's going to be ultied and punished for it, but he's ulti on the return path to Jackpot. Again, hostile takeover against his comp is too deadly. Just like that, Frank Esports, in a matter of 10 seconds, take us to match point, as this one doesn't even look close. Impunity have come into the series with 2 different drafts, and 2 different times have they been destroyed by Frank Esports.
Side of Frank Esports living up to their seeding as they come in and pummel Impunity back-to-back games. Going into this next game, man, they are going to have to bring some real spicy picks from the side of Impunity if they really want to change things up.
Yeah.
At the very least, the early game looked better,